What's up everybody, it's Dibs12 here, and today we are actually going to be going over my very own personal tier list in Storm 4. Now, a lot of you guys have been asking me to do a tier list ever since I put out that video on how to actually get better at the game. And there was that one comment that said, do a tier list, and there were so many likes to that comments, I just had to do it. And this is a thought I wanted to do for a while too, so it kind of just worked hand in hand. Now, for this tier list, there's going to be a couple of rules before we actually get into it. The first rule is that we are not going to be counting awakenings in this tier list because that is a whole another universe by itself, so that would be its own separate video. The second rule is that we're actually going to be separating the tier list into separate parts because there are more than over 100 characters in this game, and that's not really even including like the different variations of a single character, and that does affect the character itself. So I don't want this to be like literally a 2.5 hour video long, so I'm going to separate it into probably a couple of parts. The way I'm going to separate it is that the character select screen, the pages, so the first page should be the first parts, the second page should be the second parts, third page should be the third part, and so on and so on. And the very last rule is that we will be ranking every single character on the tools that they have, which are their combos, their air combos, their grab, the tilt, jutsus, and ultimate jutsus. In this tier list, there will actually be 6 tiers: F, D, C, B, A, and S. F is the trash characters, D are the characters that are slightly below average, C is literally the perfect average character or character level, B is people who are slightly above average, A are people who are actually really good at the game, and S tier are borderline broken characters, actually people who are generally overpowered. But with that being said, everyone in this game can actually be utilized at the top level. So an F tier character can be good can be used as well as an A tier character, but it will take a lot more effort because there are a lot less tools you have to work with. But with that all out of the way, let's get started. Where did you... Alright, so let's get started. So the first character we have on the list is Sage of Six Paths Naruto. Now Sage of Six Paths Naruto's combos are very flimsy. They're kind of average, but they're slightly below average just because sometimes you can kind of slip out of them a little bit and you can't really get the full combo. And also his combos don't offer a lot of guard pressure. So in terms of combos, his combos are slightly below average. Air combos pretty much average. His tilt is one of the best things about this Naruto. He literally just throw it out and it's literally just a projectile. Nothing more, nothing less. His grab is pretty much just average. It's slightly harder to hit, but it does go up, so that is a big plus. His jutsus are pretty good. One's a projectile that literally can be thrown in the air at a diagonal angle, which is pretty good because there's not a lot of projectiles in the game that can be thrown in the air. And the last is the Rasengan, which is overall just a really good jutsu and combos very well with this version of Naruto. So with all that being said, I will place this Sage of Six Paths Naruto in B tier, just slightly below average. He does have some things that hold him back from being a really good character, but it's mainly just his combos that is really holding him back. But that's why I'm gonna place him in B tier. The second character we're doing today is another version of Naruto, which is Naruto and his Kurama Link mode, or Biju form. So with this form, his combos are pretty crazy. So the fact that his combos do a lot of damage and have a lot of range, and the fact that the first 2 or 3 hits where he warps back and forth, if you time it correctly, you can kind of bait out a sub and probably get 2 subs in your opponent, means his combos are really good. There's no really bad thing about his combos. They're just overall just really good. His air combo is excellent. The fact that his last hit of his air combo can teleport to the opponents is a big plus. His tilt is very underrated. It is a teleporting tilt that teleports straight up behind the enemy, which is very good. You can even mix them up and switch out if you want to fake them out. His grab is actually gigantic. It hits literally anything in front of him, which is it's pretty big. And his jutsus are very easy to use. His Tail Beast Bomb is a little bit lower tier just because you can't combo into it, and also it doesn't have that much utility to it. But his ultimate jutsu cancels are very easy to combo into. So with all that being said, I do believe that this is going to be the very first S tier character we're going to put on this list. There's no bad thing about this Naruto, and honestly, if you pick this Naruto, you're just getting good stuff. Next, we got Naruto Uzumaki, which this is Sage Mode. So in terms of Naruto Sage Mode combos, his combos are slightly above average, I would say. They do have a lot of vertical range. They're not very fast, but it's just the fact that they have a lot of range to it. It really does bring them up in terms of combos. Air combos basically average, the same as every air combo. His tilt is actually garbage. His grab is very deceiving and can be caught off guard because it looks exactly like one of his combos, so that he has a really good grab to it, and plus it has a lot of range to it as well. His jutsus are Rasengan Barrage, which is basically just a better version of Rasengan, does more damage and can be used in the air in a better way. And also, this is the only version of Naruto that can combo into the Mega Rasengan. I'm keep saying Mega Barrage. The Mega Rasengan, which that is a big plus for this Naruto, and also he has a very easy ultimate jutsu cancel. With all that being said, I think I'm gonna put Sage Mode Naruto in A tier. Very solid character, and the fact that he has a lot of DPS to dish out with his jutsus that actually combo up gives him a big advantage. Alright, so we have the last version of Naruto on this list, but this Naruto actually has 3 different variations that kind of change up with the tilt and I think some combos. So we're gonna start with the earliest form of Naruto, which is the Wind Style Wrestling Shuriken Naruto. So with this Naruto, this does have really good combos. His combos have a lot of range and they're actually pretty fast too. And this is the only version of this Naruto that actually has an infinite combo with his up combo. So that does give him a really good plus on the combos. He has really good combos compared to any other version of Naruto. Air combo is basically the same. His tilt is really good. It's not amazing, but it is okay for this Naruto. It's basically just a projectile that you just throw out, which is really good. It gives you some pressure for your team. His grab is basically average, and the jutsu he has is basically just a really good jutsu because it's just Rasengan that you can just combo up into, and ultimate jutsu is very easy to cancel into. Therefore, I'm gonna put this Naruto in A tier, mainly just because that this Naruto has an infinite combo, which you can increase your DPS with an attack pill and get a lot more damage off. Next, we got Naruto Uzumaki, Sage Art Massive Rasengan Barrage. So this is probably the worst version of Naruto just because he has the least amount to offer out of all the Narutos. So with this Naruto, he does have also, the same combos. They're probably a little bit different, but they're basically the same thing. So again, just pretty good combos because all these Narutos have pretty good combos. This one does not have an infinite combo, so that does bring him down a little bit on the combo tier. His air combo is basically the same. His tilt is the worst out of all these Narutos. It doesn't provide anything to you, and it can be easily countered. His grab is basically the same. His jutsu is pretty decent because it's the Rasengan. Rasengan is always really good. His ultimate jutsu is pretty easy to cancel up into. So with this, just because he offers less than the other Narutos, I'm gonna put him in B tier. Just because there's nothing too glaring about this. He's kind of just the most average out of all of the Narutos that is on this list right so far. And then last but not least, we have the Tail Beast Bomb version of Naruto. So this one definitely has the biggest hitbox on the combos because this one uses actually 3 shadow clones because it provides that he's the most experienced out of all these Narutos. And he does have the best tilts out of all of them because he literally just throws himself into the opponent and there's literally kind of no way to counter because you can just go straight up into a combo, which is amazing. His grab is basically just average. His jutsu is the Rasengan, so overall just really good. And his ultimate jutsu is very easy to cancel into. So with all that being said, I'm actually gonna place this Naruto in A tier. Big hitbox and a lot of stuff to offer, and it has the best tilt out of all of them. I say that is pretty much A tier material. Alright, so now we got all the Narutos out of the way. Now we're gonna move on to Sakura, the Great Ninja Warrior Sakura. So I honestly do think that Sakura is an amazing character in this game. Her combos are actually pretty average. There's nothing too special about them. They're just overall decent. Her tilt is actually one of the best tilts so far on this list. She literally just dashes at the opponent and just goes straight up into a combo, which her whole goal is to break shields and do damage, which that tilt pretty much allows her to do that. Her grab is pretty much average, her air combo is pretty much average, her jutsu is where everything falls, it's where everything just falls in her place. So the Cherry Blossom Burst, the projectile, is really not that good, and you're really nerfing yourself if you do pick that. But the Cherry Blossom Clash, however, is one of the best jutsus in the game. It can be used in the air, it's great for damaging shields, it has invincibility frames on startup, Next on the list we have Sai. So Sai is a very underrated character. One of the characters that I see no one play throughout pretty much my whole 4 years of playing this game. But Sai is a very good character. His combos are very good. They have a lot of setups. I think he has 4 setups for a guard break pill, and he has a lot of opportunities to pretty much bait out a sub. His tilt is okay. It does have a lot of range, but I wouldn't say it's overall really good. It's just kind of below average, I would say, because he can just be countered into it. His grab is amazing. He literally just jumps on the opponent, and it's one of the rare strike backs that go, it's one of the rare grabs that go into a strike back. His air combo is also amazing because it's one of the very few air combos that can't be punished if you know how to use it correctly, and also goes into a strike back. His jutsu can be good if you know how to use it properly, and his ultimate jutsu is very easy to cancel up into. So with all that being said, I'm actually going to play Sai in A tier. The fact that he has a lot of setups and also an air combo that can basically not be punished if you use it the correct way, and a jutsu that can be charged up, I think that Sai deserves to be in A tier. Alright, so now we're moving on to Kakashi Hatake. So now we're going to actually go on to the Great Ninja War variation, and then we're going to move on to the next variation next. So with this Kakashi, his combos are average, and they're kind of below average, honestly, because of the low range that he provides. They are very fast, but it doesn't matter if the range is pitiful. His tilt is basically useless. It's pretty much a combo that goes into a strike back, but the combo is basically useless. His grab is very tiny. And his jutsus, he has an arsenal of jutsus, but the ones you really should be aiming for is Fire Style or Lightning Blade, and those are really good jutsus to have. So his jutsus arsenal is very good, and it's very good easy ultimate jutsus. But with all that being said, I actually am going to place Great Ninja War Kakashi in C tier. I think he's just an average character with nothing too special to offer that other characters don't simply offer, especially his other variation, which we're going to talk about right now. Next, we have Kakashi Hatake Double Sharingan. So Kakashi, this one is much better than the last one, just simply because he has more range and his combos are shorter and more powerful, therefore just better combos. His tilt is very unique. It can eat any projectile, which is a good plus, but it's not very practical. But I will say it's probably like an average tilt. It does have some utility. It can be used to some extent. His grab is bigger and it will hit, but it's not humongous and it's not great, so I would say it's average instead of below average. And he does have the arsenal of jutsus, which is very good because you can just pick any one for any situation, and that's very good for this Kakashi. His ultimate jutsu is very easy to cancel up into, and nothing too special about his air combo. So with all of that, I would actually put this a tier higher than Great Ninja War. I would put him in B tier. Very good, solid character to use in this game, but not in the any least bit too strong. So next up we got Might Guy. So Might Guy is actually one of those characters that people really just have on the team just because of the dash cut. So with Might Guy's combos, they are very short range, but they are fast and they can be linked over and over again to break the guard multiple times. His air combo is strictly average. His tilt is very underrated. I would say he has a good tilt just because his tilt is he can teleport basically just in front of it, and he goes into a combo where you can just switch out of the combo and just go straight into someone's guard, which is amazing. His grab is very fast, but I would say it's more line just average, nothing too special about it. And his jutsu is basically the dynamic entry. I almost forgot what it was called, but I would say the dynamic entry is basically just an average jutsu, nothing too special about it, and very hard ultimate jutsu to cancel into unless you're pretty experienced with the game, you know how to do it, and one easy one. So with all that, I would say my guy deserves to be in B tier. Nothing really too special, but a good solid character. Next up, we got Yamato. So Yamato's combos are very simple. They have decent range and they have decent speed. They're overall just average. Air combos just average. His tilt literally just pushes them away, which is pretty good for what it's supposed to do. So I would say it's a good tilt. His grab is also very unique and huge. I would say that's a very good grab as well. His jutsu is where everything goes downhill. It's literally just a bad jutsu overall. There's many other jutsus that can do what that does. It's overall just terrible. And his ultimate jutsu is very easy to cancel into, and you can actually cancel it again to get some more damage. So with all of that, I would actually say Yamato deserves to be in B tier as well with Guy and Kakashi, just because everything on him is pretty much just average. And besides his tilt and grab, and his tilt and grab is very big and offers him a lot of utility if you know how to play him. But his jutsu is the only bad thing about this character. But if you get past that, he can be a really good character for you. Alright, so next up we got Shikamaru, one of the characters I play the most. So Shikamaru has very decent combos. He has an infinite combo with his up combo, and he does have decent range, but his speed is pretty low, so he can get out prioritized by a couple of people. His air combo is amazing. The fact that if you do the air combo, he actually covers you with throws some kunais with bombs on him, which is pretty good. Very good air combo. His tilt it's okay. It can be worked with, but there are definitely better tilts in the game. Instead of that, his grab is pretty average as well. His jutsu is pretty bad as Shikamaru himself, but when you use it as supports, it's okay. It's overall just an okay jutsu and a very easy ultimate jutsu cancel. So with all that, I'm actually gonna put Shikamaru in B tier. I know a lot of people will put him in probably an A tier, but I think he's a B tier. The fact that he can just get out prioritized by some people, it really just puts him down on the tier list a lot. And the fact that his jutsu is mediocre at best is not helping Shikamaru at all. Next up, we got Choji Akamichi. So Choji has massive range with his combos, but his combos overall are just too dang slow. He is by far one of the slowest characters in the game, and that does nerf his combo potential a lot because he actually has decent setups and decent combos. His air combo is very bad because it takes a long time to get the grab off, and you can just sub the grab and he can miss most of the time. His tilt is garbage. His grab range is pretty good, honestly, but there's just so many bad things. His jutsu is really good, especially for support. Actually, mainly for support. You don't really use Choji's jutsus for himself. It's just mainly for support, which is good for breaking the guard and holding people down. It's also just pretty easy to cancel into, but that's not gonna help him really. I actually gonna put Choji. I'm gonna put him in D tier. He's gonna be the first D tier character we have, slightly below average. And the thing that's really holding him back is his attack speed. That's really the main thing, and that hurts him a lot. Next character we got is Ino Yamanaka. Now Ino's combos are strictly average. They have decent range, decent speed, but nothing really too grand about them. Her air combo is pretty much just average. Her tilt is really good. It literally just dashes in and puts them into a combo, but the dash is mainly what you're looking for most of the time. But there are other better jutsus, other better tilts that can do that, but way better, like Stalkers. She can dash in, but she can also go into a combo. So I would say her Ino's is pretty much just overall just average. And her grab, it would be good if it didn't leave her wide open more than most characters. So overall, her jutsu does have a lot of range, but it doesn't have. Not her jutsu. Her grab does have a lot of range, but it doesn't have. It leaves her open for too long. And last but not least, her jutsu is pretty mediocre. As supports, it does cover you, but it will miss most of the time. You can shoot it in the air, but it doesn't really hit in the air. It's very inaccurate unless you really know how to use it. So it's mediocre, I would say. Ultimate jutsu is pretty easy to cancel into. So with all that, I think I'm gonna put Ino, and I think I'm gonna put her in C tier. I think she's just overall just an average character. Next up, we got Neji Hyuga. Now, Neji Hyuga, ooh. So I better be careful with this one because some people will say that Neji is at least above B tier. But let's see. So Neji's combos, should I even say, are undoubtedly some of the best in the game. Very fast, very long range, very fast. I don't think he can be out prioritized. I think he has one of the fastest speeds in the game. Air combo is pretty good too. The fact that he has literally a force field in his air combo that cannot be broken and covers you pretty well. His tilt is literally just a projectile that can be comboed up with someone else on your team. His grab is very short, but if you get it off, you can actually combo into it and literally just get something else off, either a down combo or an air combo. His jutsu is 8 trigrams is amazing. Basically just a force field around you that blocks everything, and you can be using the air to instantly dish it out. And his other jutsu is the air palm, which is basically just a very good damage dealing projectile that he has. Overall, all of his stuff is amazing. And honestly, I think this will be the second S tier character we have on this list. He's just a really solid character. Infinite combo, air combo into a grab. Air combo is amazing. Everything is just about this character is just amazing. And if you know how to use this character, you're going to seem borderline broken. Next on the list, we got Rock Lee. So Rock Lee is one of those characters where he's only good at one thing and one thing only: his combos. His combos are amazing. The fact that he has an M combo, he has very long range and very fast combos, and they're all very short, very amazing combos. His air combo can be chained up multiple times, so he has an infinite air combo basically if you know how to use it correctly. His tilt is pretty bad, and his grab is not the best. It can miss most of the time, but it does teleport in front of the opponent a short distance, but that doesn't really help you, especially when the opponent sees it coming. Ultimate Jutsu, very easy to cancel into. I will put Rock Lee in B tier just because he has combos. If he didn't have combos, I would say he'd probably be a trash character, honestly, because that's all he really has, just combos. And his jutsu is not really that good. I forgot to mention it. As Rock Lee is pretty bad, and as support, there are better jutsus that can support you. Next up on the list, we have Tenten. So Tenten is one of those characters where I honestly did try. I played with this character for about an hour in preparation for this tier list video, and I can confidently say that Tenten's combos are the worst out of any long range characters, in my opinion. Remember, this tier list is all in my opinion, so don't get too mad when I say this, but her long range combos are basically just really bad. Her down combo, I think, is the only combo that is worth using because she moves while she uses it. Her up combo sucks. Her neutral combo sucks as well. Her melee combo goes into a strike back, which is pretty good, but there's nothing special since basically every single long range character melee attack can do that, or majority of them. Just her combos are just mediocre at best, or even below average. You can debate mediocre. Her tilt is pretty garbage. Her grab is very unique. It's a very long grab, but you have to catch them in it, which you can do if you're a very smart player. So I would say her grab is a little bit above average. Her jutsu is really good, but she has no cancel into her ultimate jutsu. She has to do it through a strike back, which is a big nerf on Tenten's part since he's already a bad character. So with all of that, I would actually put her for the first F tier character on this list. She has too many bad things going on about her. Her combos are not that good. There's only one combo that she really should be spamming, that's the down combo. And her air combo is decent, her air long range combo, but that's not enough to put her enough on the tier. The fact that she doesn't have a ultimate jutsu cancel is really what puts her way down. So yeah, I'm gonna put Tenten in F tier. Next up, we got Kiba Inuzuka. So Kiba is one of those characters that can rush you down pretty hard and has a lot of good mix-ups and setups. So with his combos, he has a lot of good combos. He actually has 2 infinite combos and the ability to increase his damage with his very own attack pill, which is pretty good. He has a very good grab and a very good tilt, I would say, that pushes the opponent back and even gives it into a strike back. His jutsu is really good for what it's supposed to do. Amazing support and very amazing jutsu for Kiba as well. And air combo is pretty much average, and ultimate jutsu is basically just easy to use as well. But there is one thing that is holding Kiba back, and that is the fact that if Akamaru gets hit, he cannot attack. So because of that quirk, solely because of that quirk, I'm going to put him in D tier. Because this is actually a really good character, but there's just something holding him back. And it's widely known that this holds him back. So a good player can pretty much just exploit Akamaru from just being hit most of the time. And Kiba is nerfed for basically no reason. So yeah, if it wasn't for that nerf, I would probably put him in an A tier character because this is a really good character. But because of that, people can just exploit it and you're just gonna have a hard time. So I'm gonna put him in D tier. Next up, we got Shino Aburame. So Shino, in my opinion, is one of the best, or if the best, long range character in the game. The fact that he has an infinite combo in his long range combo. He has strike backs both in his air combo and in his melee combo on the ground. His tilt is pretty much just average. His grab is pretty fast and can catch you off guard if you're not paying attention. His jutsu is amazing, using as him or as support himself. It's just amazing. Can cover you really good and cover your partner really good. There is a cancel into his ultimate jutsu, but it's not easy at all. It will take some setup, but it's plausible to actually use. But with all that being said, I think I will actually put Shino in A tier. I think it's the fact that his long range combos actually are the only ones in the game that legitimately connect up, and they have the best homing out of all the long range. It really does put him up on the tier. So I think I'm actually gonna put him in A tier. Next up, we got Hinata Hyuga. Now, Hinata is a very combo character, just like her cousin Neji. So with that, her combos are amazing. She doesn't have a lot of length. She's not as good as Neji, but she does have a lot of more range than Neji, and she is very fast. The fact that she can just you can pretty much just mash with her. You can get damage off and shield pressure with her. So her combos are amazing. Her tilt it could be better. I would say it is below average. Her grab is average. It's okay. Nothing too special about it. Her air combos basically just an air combo, nothing more, nothing less. And her jutsus all are amazing. Her air palm is by far one of the best jutsus in the entire game. And her other jutsu where she creates a force field, I forgot what it was called, but that's very good too for baiting out subs. And if you know how to use it correctly, you can get a lot of damage off with it. So, and very easy ultimate jutsu cancels. So with that being said, I'm actually gonna put Hinata in A tier as well. Overall, just a fantastic character. Next up, we got Asuma Sarutobi. So Asuma is a very boxer-like fighter. So he just gets up in there and he literally just pounces him. He has a good speed to him and cannot be out prioritized really, but the thing he lacks the most is range. He does not have a lot of range, but he does have amazing guard pressure actually, and he can just get up in your face and just do a lot of damage. His grab is pretty good. It looks exactly like one of his combos, which you can use in the middle and get a grab off. His tilt could be better, but it does push in on the opponent, that's what it's supposed to do, which is a good plus. And with all that, I would say his tilt is it's a little bit above average, or just average, I would say. Yeah, average. It's pretty good for what it's supposed to do. His jutsu could be better for Asuma himself. It does leave him wide open, which is a bad thing for Asuma. And also his support, it's okay. It's really good. I would say it's a little bit above average. And his ultimate jutsu are basically easy. So with all that, I think I am actually gonna put Asuma in in B tier. I think he deserves B tier. He has a lot. He has a big rapid punches that can't really be out prioritized too much because he's already super fast, but he does lack of range and a good tilt. Next up, we got the other Sarutobi, Konohamaru Sarutobi. So this little boy has a lot of range and he has a lot of momentum whenever he attacks, which means he pushes forward whenever he starts a combo. So with all that, his combos are just really good. He can just do whatever he wants and you feel free whenever you play him. His air combo is basically just average. His tilt is a sort of kind of a trap. You can use it as a trap if you know how to use it correctly. So I would say it's a little bit above average. His grab is really good. Actually, it goes very far. It's the same thing as Sage Mode Naruto, where it looks like it's part of his kit. It literally like just a shadow clone. That shadow clone jumps on you, and if you're not prepared for it, he can actually get you off guard. So it's a pretty good grab. Now his jutsu is just a Rasengan, which he can cancel and get some more guard pressure off. So overall, it's a pretty good jutsu, but it is a big minus that he cannot cancel into it, but it used to do a lot of pressure on it. So that's also really good. Now here's the thing that really nerfs down Konohamaru is that he doesn't have a legitimate ultimate jutsu cancel. If he had legitimate ultimate jutsu cancel, I'll actually put him in probably B tier. But with that, and he doesn't have ultimate jutsu cancel, I'm actually gonna put him in D tier. Actually, no. I'm actually gonna put him. Yeah, I'm gonna put him in D tier. I was gonna put him in C tier, but nah. He doesn't have an ultimate jutsu cancel, which is a big nerf. It's a heavy blow to Konohamaru, even though he is a really fun and good character in this game. Next up, we got is Shisui Uchiha. Now, people sure do love them Uchihas. If I don't put Shisui in the correct position, they gonna rant. But I'm just gonna have to give it to them straight. So Shisui's combos are very good, have a lot of range, but sometimes they are kind of flimsy and you can just fall out of them if they're in the air. So that is kind of a minus, but it's also very rare, but it should be mentioned. Air combo is pretty much average. His tilt is low-key a projectile that can go into a combo, which is very unique in this game. I would say it's one of the better tilts because it does what it's supposed to do. His grab is very small range, but it's very fast, so if you use it correctly, you can actually get some good damage off. Shisui has two jutsus, which is the Uchiha style Halo Dance, which is a good jutsu for actually pushing on the opponents and getting some good damage off, but using as Shisui himself, it doesn't really provide him a lot of damage, and there are better jutsus in the game that can actually do more damage than this, so it's just pretty good for support. And his other jutsu, which is the fire style fireball jutsu, is overall just really good. Good range, good combo into his jutsu. Overall, just a solid ultimate jutsu. A solid jutsu, and his ultimate jutsu can combo into. So I think I'm actually gonna put Shisui in A tier. He's a really good character with very unique tools, and you can do a lot of damage with him. And plus, he has the amazing speed to cover him as well. Next up, we have Iruka Sensei. So Iruka Sensei has that potential to be a really good character if they just made a few tweaks to him. So in terms of his combos, they're just very average. Honestly, like I feel that it seems like he had an infinite combo in his combos, but they just didn't follow through with it. But overall, like, he just has very basic combos, and his air combos also very basic as well. His tilt is very unique. I'd say it's one of the better ones. It's literally just a counter that can go into a strike back, which is pretty unique because I would say it's better than Madara because just because it lasts just as long as Madara's, and can also just counter any attack from behind or in the front, while Madara is literally just in the front. His grab is also very unique. It's literally just a barrier, pretty much. Not a barrier, what's he call it? A trap on the ground that literally traps the opponents, but it does have very short range, so it's basically just a short range grab. And his jutsu is a trap, a very short range trap that lasts for a very long time, which is pretty unique in theory, but there are more tilts in the game that have traps that can do this a lot better. So with that all being said, I'm actually gonna put Iruka Sensei in D tier. he's kind of just a slow character with very little range, and there's not really a lot that he can offer besides like a very cool concept of traps and counters. Next up, we got Kushina Uzumaki. So Kushina has a lot of range with her utensils, but she's kind of slow, and her air combo is basically just average. So I would say her overall combos are a little bit above average just because she has a little bit more range, and her air combo is basically just average. Nothing too bad about it. Her tilt is actually one of the more unique tilts in the game. I think this is why most people even choose Kushina. She actually just puts a trap down and it just stays there. I think she could put two down at the same time. I'm not too sure about that, but this really does put her up on the tier list because this just solidifies how good a character, how good her utensils are. Her tools are with her trap. Like, this is just pretty rare. Her grab is very slow and it's very hard to get off because it's literally just slow. She just walks up towards you and she kind of poses in front of you. Her jutsu is just an average jutsu. It's like the Rasengan, but just kind of worse. At least she can combo into it. If she couldn't combo into it, it would just be worthless. But overall, since she can combo into it, it's good for herself and it's average support, so it's just overall just an average jutsu. But with all that, Kushina doesn't really offer a whole lot to her, so I think I'm going to put her in C tier. I think that she's just overall just an average character with a very bad grab. Her combos are average, and the only thing that she really has that's really good is her tilt, but everything else is mainly just average on her. Nothing really too bad about her. Alright, next up we have Jiraiya Sensei. So Jiraiya's combos are very slow, and they don't have a lot of range at all. So overall, he just really had just bad combos. His air combo is pretty average. His tilt is kind of bad just because it has a long time to actually charge up before he can use it. His grab is okay. It's not even good, really. Like, it doesn't have any range and it's kind of slow and it's kind of obvious for where it's coming from. His jutsu is the most powerful Rasengan in the game, and he can combo up into it to get some massive damage, but he can't cancel it. So once he's committed, you're just committed, which is a huge nerf since every other Naruto can just cancel their jutsu, which is bigger than damage, honestly, and very easy ultimate jutsu to combo into. I will be another character that's going to be in the D tier list. So this is mainly just due to because everything on him is either average to bad. His combos are just overall just bad, and his tilt is just bad, and I think his Rasengan is just bad just because you can't cancel it, while every other Rasengan you pretty much can cancel it. Next up, we have the last three characters. So we have Kakashi Hatake, which Kid Kakashi. So Kid Kakashi in my last video gave me a pretty good representation of what he's supposed to do. So Kid Kakashi combos are really good. He has the infinite combo in his up combo, and he has very fast, very average range, and overall it's just really good. His air combo is average. His tilt's pretty good as well. It can literally just get some free damage off. You can just switch out and get somebody else off. It just all depends on how you use it. His grab is pretty unique, it's just a slide, but it's nothing too special to talk about. And his jutsu Chidori is debatably one of the worst Chidoris, but it's still good because it's a Chidori. It's literally just a jutsu that you can just cancel that comes out literally just immediate. So with all that, I think he deserves to be a B tier character. He's just a very solid character. Next up, we got Obito Uchiha. So I said in my last video when I did my tutorial for Obito, Obito was basically just kind of like an average character. Like, and I still hold true to that. There's nothing too special about Obito. He just has average combos, average air combos, average grab, and average tilt. Nothing really too special about him. Actually, very bad tilt. But yeah, it's not too bad. You can still work with it. And average ultimate jutsu. So with that, I think he just deserves to be in C tier. Nothing too bad about him. And the last part of this tier list, we got Rin. So with Rin, her jutsus are very bad. I think that they don't hit a lot, and you have to be very close up to hit, which means you can just get mostly just outranged or outsped by her. So her combos are nothing to be glorified at. Her tilt is another trap in the game, which is very unique, but it goes away almost immediate. I always say Kushina has one of the better traps in the game compared to her, but it still will work. It's still different, so I would say it's kind of average. Her grab is very bad. I would say it will probably never hit. It's very obvious that it's coming, and it has no range whatsoever. Her air combo is basically average, and her jutsu is kind of garbage. It's just a log. It does cover you, but sometimes it will summon at the wrong angle as a support. But it's just the way how you use it. But overall, I think it's kind of a below average tilt. I mean, below average jutsu. And her ultimate jutsu is pretty easy to cancel into. So with all that, I would actually put Rin in D tier. There's nothing too amazing about her, and all the stuff that she can do, other people can do just as better. Alright everybody, so we have did, I think, 35 characters in the first part of the tier list. So in the next part of the tier list, we'll be doing the second page of the characters, which is Sasuke all the way through Mifune. And that will be the second part. But if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like down below, subscribe, and make sure to tell me what changes would you have made to my tier list. How would you have done it? But anyways, my name is 12. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time.